Hey everyone, it's Matthew here from the NOLAnerdcast, speaking with Tiffany Vollmer, whose voice you might recognize if you're a Dragon Ball fan. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are y'all doing today?
I'm doing well, and for everyone that doesn't know and can't tell by what's on this table, you are the OG voice of Bulma.
Original gangsta in the house.
So, we were briefly talking earlier, and you said that this job came about via your college career. Can you kind of break us down how Bulma came to be?
Yeah, I was at University of North Texas, Screaming Eagles. We weren't really into football.
Your school spirit's really just...
Yeah. And I was getting ready to graduate from college. I was on an acting scholarship there, and I was also doing some design work, makeup and costume design. And being on scholarship, I waited till the very last semester to take my math class because
Typical Bulma.
Well, no, Bulma would have aced my math class, but I wasn't Bulma yet, so I failed it miserably and was stuck in school for another semester. And I ran into Chris Sabat, who was an old college chum of mine, and he said, "Oh, that's too bad that you have to stay in school for another semester. However, there's an audition on Monday, and you should come out because I've seen you perform and I've heard you sing, and we might have something for you. There's still some really good roles available." So I show up on that Monday, and I read for like 7 different voices, and I read for the producer at the time was Barry Watson, and he came out and he shook my hand and he said, "Great job. I could see you in any of these roles. You're a very talented actress." And at that point, I'm thinking, don't quit your day job. You did great, but don't call us. We'll call you.
My people will get in touch with your people.
And 2 weeks later, I got a call from Chris that said, "Is Tiffany Vollmer there?" And I was like, "Chris?" He was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Did you hear what I said?" And I was like, "Tiffany something Vollmer." And he was like, "Yeah, Vollmer." And I'm like, "What's that?" And he goes, "That's your new character on Dragon Ball Z."
Hooray!
And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I did it."
So, because Chris was Yamcha,
Yeah, he was Yamcha.
who, if you don't know, is actually the greatest character in Dragon Ball history. I don't know if you knew this.
I think he is the cutest coward I've ever met.
That's what he wants you to think. But, so, what are some of the other characters you auditioned for besides Bulma? Because you said you tried to read for about 7?
Well, they had me read. They were like, any voice that you feel comfortable reading for, we'll let you read for. So I read for Frieza, I read for Dende, I read for Chiaotzu, which I was never going to nail. Although I did it really good during the audition because he was like, "Yeah, I can see you in any of these roles." Chi-Chi, which I was thinking, Chi-Chi is Goku's wife, right? So I want to be the superhero's wife so I get more FaceTime. Not knowing that Bulma was really...
You got it wisely.
Yeah, it chose me, right?
Exactly,
I didn't choose it. So, and I think they went with something that was more of my natural voice because they know that it's a taxing show and we have to scream a lot. And unless you're Chris Sabat that can play like 15 different voices,
Yeah.
Bulma has a lot of screaming time on air.
Well, I'm very curious now. Could you just give us a brief glimpse of what your Frieza might have been?
Oh, gosh.
Putting you on the spot.
Man, and they altered Linda's voice, but my Frieza would have been very similar to the Frieza that was. I mean,
fair. That's better than I could do. So, how has it been to be known as the voice of Bulma? Because Dragon Ball is still just one of the most popular things around.
While I was doing it, though, it wasn't that popular. So I was working...
It was to me.
No, listen, this is great. I was working a bar job in Denton, and Dragon Ball Z had just started airing on television. And this is actually greater. The first time I ever saw Bulma on television with my voice coming out of it, I was living in a 4-plex. So there was like 2 apartments upstairs, 2 across the way, and a bunch of people out back. And all of a sudden, it comes on Cartoon Network, and I'm like, oh my God, it's me. And there is no one home. And I'm standing in the middle of my living room, shouting for everybody to come listen. And so I have this moment of me on TV by myself in my living room going, there it is. It's just Bulma's face, and it's my voice, and it was quite a moment.
That's awesome.
For sure.
And now you're local.
Yes, now I'm local. So, but when I worked at the bar, they would turn the volume down and have me just do the voice over the microphone at the bar.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was fun. But I toured for a long time, and then when the season was like when Dragon Ball Z was over, and I think they had been talking about Kai, and I knew that there was going to be some recasting. That was my first opportunity to move about the country, because I was under contract and I had to be available to go to the studio all the time. And
it's in Texas, right?
It's in Dallas, yeah. And Dallas is a little stuffy, just to be honest with you. And I was doing a lot of production work there. I had a production company, and my best friend lived here, and she was like, listen, I look around this town, and everywhere I see you, like, you can wear a tutu and fairy wings on a Tuesday.
You can.
For no reason, and you should, because people will high-five you. If you wear that in Dallas, people will commit you, or you'll be blackballed, or, it's just a totally different vibe. So being an artist and an actress and a writer and a dancer and a singer, all these things, I wanted to come to a place where I could be my authentic self 100% of the time.
Well, welcome.
Instead of just, at a con or on Halloween or, so I love it. I love it here.
Well, we like to end our interviews with a very unique question. Just in your heart of hearts, you have
When did you lose your virginity?
Well, for me, it was. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were suddenly curious. I was like, oh well, if you insist. No. So, in your heart of hearts, if you had to choose, cake or pie?
Cake. White wedding cake.
You know what? Ooh, that's an
Wedding
interesting
cake.
choice. Really.
Wedding cake is my favorite.
I mean, the
that
correct
white
answer was
icing with all the
obviously
sugar.
pie, but I'll forgive it because you're Bulma.
I hope so.
And we have one more for you.
Okay.
Because we're throwing you a curveball. When you make a sandwich, either for yourself or your daughter,
Okay.
horizontal or vertical cuts?
She prefers triangles.
Ooh. The diagonal is the other option. I don't know why I said horizontal and vertical. That's the same thing on a sandwich. So yeah, diagonal
We don't like
or horizontal?
squares. We like triangles.
Now what about you?
I don't even need it cut. I'm just gonna
Just eat it.
I'm just gonna.
That's the dark horse answer.
Well, because I feel like if you eat all the crust off, then the good stuff's left in the middle.
I mean, that's true.
So I kind of go. I'm always thinking outside the
box.
box.
Oh,
That's what's up.
living
That's
that
what's
Bulma
up.
life.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time
It's
to talk
been
to
so
us.
fun.
Yay, everyone! Is there a way people can follow you?
You can follow me at the OG Bulma on Facebook. The O.G Bulma Original Gangsta. And that's really it. I mean, couldn't we all just get along on MySpace? Because
You would have been in my top 8.
I can't do Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat, and I'm pretty simple and low fuss, and you can find me on Facebook.
Well, there we go. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great day.
Thank you. You too.